in your city. We going country, we going select. Get with me, we in your city.
Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Real Mojo Point of View and Sports Reviews, man, a podcast session. How everybody doing, man? Today is an early one, y'all. Early one. And y'all know I ain't even with the early stuff, but got a couple appointments, so got to get this done early. So what's going on, everybody? We're gonna do some NBA talk today. Some NBA talk, man. We're gonna start off with Jeff Teague, man. I was watching the game last night, and he didn't look too bad. He didn't look too bad. I saw him a couple of weeks with a couple of weeks ago. Well, I saw him for a little bit longer than that, but when he was on Boston, and dude, it was a mess. It was a mess. I don't know, man. I think it's something here. It's something here with Boston, man. Guys playing with Boston is just, I don't know. It's like they never gonna. I don't know. For some reason, they don't want to be here. But I mean, Jeff Teague had 15 last night, and I don't even remember him having 15 the whole time he was here in Boston. So I don't know. That's something to be said because he's only 32, so it's not like he's an older guy that was out there, on his last leg or was just being used for like to make a salary matchup. He can actually still play, and he's not that old of a guy to where you can't get 2 or 3 good years out of him. So maybe it's just Boston. But when he first got here, he was saying how like Brad Stevens was recruiting him out of high school and stuff like that, and he had some pretty good stories, but it just never panned out, and I don't know that it was because of personnel wise, because on in the backcourt there's always time here. There's always time playing for the Celtics because Kemba Walker is always injured. And Jeff Teague's more of a true point guard than well, he is a point guard, period. And Marcus Smart is not really a point guard, but the problem with Marcus Smart is the Celtics don't know. Well, it seems that they don't know when and where to play him, where to plug him in at, and where to fit him in at. It's like he's almost one of those positionless guys, right? But when he does come in, he doesn't play his role correctly, right? He he'll hit the occasional 3 or maybe 2 or 3 in a quarter or something like that. But then when it gets down to crunch time and the game is close, and it's basically supposedly Jason Tatum time, then Marcus Smart will come out of nowhere with a 3, ill-advised 3, or just sometimes he'll get a little bit out of his game, like out of his skill set, But I feel like Jeff Teague would have been a good would have been a good player going, down the stretch because he gives you a little bit more size and durability than Kemba Walker. He would have gave the Celtics a little bit more durability than Kemba Walker, and getting to the basket, taking contact, and all that. So I don't know, and he's gonna be perfect backing up Drew Holiday. He's gonna be perfect backing up Drew Holiday because he don't come in and do too much. He don't come in and try to do too much. He comes in, plays the role, and that was another thing. That is another thing that bothers me about the Celtics. It's like they don't get their roles. Any of them don't get their roles. They don't. It's like they don't understand. It's to the point where anybody on that team will take a last second shot or a shot in the crunch time when the game is tight. Anybody will take those shots on that team, and it generally speaking, it should be Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. Now you could go Evan Fournier now, but they usually get the role mixed up, which is why I thought Jeff Teague would have been great playing for the Celtics because just like last night, he comes in, he does what he needs to do. He understands if you go up and down the court 2 or 3 trips with no scores, he understands to come down the next trip and get himself to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like, they need to move the ball. Yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like I thought Jeff Teague would have been real good. Um, I guess backing up Kemba, even though I feel like you would probably get more out of Jeff Teague than Kemba. Yeah, yeah, and it's to the point where they don't they just don't get it. They don't get the role. You know, um, I don't know. I thought they should have went after like a different type of guard this year, but they couldn't even really move Kemba Walker because they couldn't move Kemba Walker because he was hurt. You know, he was hurt, so they couldn't even really move him. But now it's to the point where are they even going to make the playoffs now? Are they going to make the playoffs now? Because they lost last night. Um, they lost to Philadelphia last night, and like they don't even come close, man. They don't even come close to they lost by 10, but they don't come close to, like, for me anyway. I don't see them even coming close to being a serious contender in the East. Even though they're almost not a contender because they are right now. I believe they're still in eighth place, just hanging on. But I mean, it's to the point now where nobody even talks about them anymore, unless unless it's like how much of a disappointment they are. You know, this is a disappointment, and people like to blame Brad Stevens. He gets some of the blame. He gets some of the blame, but the thing is, it's like he's coaching what he got, and he's coaching a lost team. Man, those dudes are lost. And I guess people can attribute that to them being young, but they're really lost, man. They are. They lost. They're in bad shape. you know, they're in bad shape. Um, I don't even know like where they could even go from now. You know, next year or whatever. They definitely gonna have to move some people. Some people's gonna have to get moved. And as beloved as Marcus Smart is here in Boston, he got to get moved. I mean, who's untradeable now? Anyway, like, and then what utility guys untradeable? He could play defense, yeah, but so can't Jalen Brown. So can't Jalen Brown. They need first of all, they need a Joe Harris, JJ Redick, Kyle Korver type is what they need because they don't have it. Um, they need to let Robert Williams play a little more, but they need to get another big so he could play more of a uh, of a four role. You know, they need to play him more so he can play more of a four role because Tatum playing the four is just not cutting it. You know, he's not cutting it. Um, it's probably time to scrap the Taco Fall project. You know, it's time to do away with all that. Semi Ojale, it's time to do away with a lot of that. You know, um, I mean, you got Carson Edwards and Tremont Waters, and they're both under 5'10", under 5'9". Romeo Langford from Indiana. I didn't like him coming out. I think he came out too early. Um, I don't know. They got some problems. They got some problems, and now as it stands, let me check where they are. Not the NHL, buddy. I'm gonna check where they are in the East because it's to the point now. They're eighth place, 10 games out of first, and they're tied with the Knicks. And I'm guessing the Knicks got the tiebreaker. But like the team is just not. I don't know. They're just not like. I don't know if and it may be a mental. It may be mentally they're not built for what's going on. You know, could be mentally they're not built for what's going on. But the team as constructed, you know, is coming in the eighth spot. So they wouldn't be able to beat if they jump one spot to the seventh spot, they wouldn't be able to beat Brooklyn or Philadelphia. They wouldn't be able to beat Brooklyn or Philadelphia. I mean, and it's crazy because even if you jump to sixth and you play three, three is Milwaukee. So I don't even understand. They basically they don't have any shot for the foreseeable future. They don't have any. I don't see any shot of them winning. You know, I don't see them winning. I don't even see them getting out of the first round for the next 3 or 4 years because this is how it's going to shape up. Those 1, 2, and 3 teams, that's going to be 1, 2, and 3 for the next 3 or 4 years. And then other people is locked in to to their new teams and they're getting along pretty good. They're moving around pretty good. You got and then you got to expect Charlotte to make a move or two at some point. Miami already made a move and got better with Victor Oladipo. And I feel like Miami may end up fourth by the time this is all said and done with. I see it shaking out like the top three there: Miami, Charlotte, Atlanta. Knicks, and either Boston, Indiana, or Chicago, taking that eighth spot. So as it looks right now, Celtics might not even get in. And like I said, if they do get in, it's looking like a real easy first round exit for somebody for one of those top threes, one of those top three teams. It's looking like a real quick exit for the Celtics because each one of those teams got something sure down the stretch. Number one, Kevin Durant. Number two, well, sorry, number one, Joel Embiid, because they're tied for first. So either way, Brooklyn got Kevin Durant, Milwaukee got Drew Holiday to finish them games. Drew Holiday is gonna finish those games. So I don't even see the shot that the Celtics have. The Celtics probably couldn't even realistically, well, even though they can't beat Miami because we already saw that last year play out. But Atlanta, could hit Lou Williams over there now to close those games out. So, I mean, it's not looking good at all. Actually, it's not looking good at all. So, it's for all of our Celtics fans, it's looking grim, looking real grim out there for us. You know. So I was watching Milwaukee and Golden State last night, and man, Steph Curry put on a show. He put on a show, everybody. I don't even understand how. I don't even understand how he's still doing it, like to that level. And then I was just reading something. People were saying like he should probably leave Golden State after this year. What would be the point of him leaving Golden State? I don't even get what the point would be of him leaving Golden State. He can do whatever he he's the reason why Kevin Durant's not in Golden State because he would never, Steph was drafted there. He brought him to the, he just that's just his team, his city. That's it is what it is. You know, he's Oakland. He's Oakland. But I mean, like, even with Middleton scoring 28, Drew Holiday scoring 29, they still couldn't, stop Golden State from winning that game. They got 18 from Bazemore, 10 from Poole, but and then down the stretch, Oubre hit the two big free throws, and he ended up with 19. But 41 from Steph, man, like wow. And I mean, he was hitting shots. I mean, there's a couple fouls that the referees give him when he shoots and throws his body into the defender. And the NBA got to take a look at that because that's getting ridiculous. Like and one of those fouls, the guy didn't even touch him. He just jumped up, for his jump shot, threw his body all crazy, and then get a foul call. Like that was terrible. But it is what it is. But they gotta fix that. The NBA gotta fix that. There's no way they could let that go. just like over and over. Keep letting that happen. Yeah, because it's getting to the point now where it's getting crazy. Like they just let anything he does is a foul. But I mean, they're not doing anything like, and it's not just him. It's not just him. There's a lot of guys doing that, but it's just to a point now where it's getting kind of ridiculous. I think, and then with him, that like as a defender, you really got no shot because it's either you let him shoot a wide open three that he's probably gonna make, or you run out there and risk him making the three and getting an extra, extra free throw. So it's kind of tough, and he don't really need help. Well, he doesn't need help at all. He's a two-time MVP. He don't really need help. But the fact that you know that happens, and then he gets those like unbelievable calls is really ridiculous. Okay, let's trying to fix something. Yeah. So I mean, what more does he need? Trying to wait till some people get in so we can open it up, get some feedback to everybody that's going to be listening on the podcast. You know, should come to the YouTube side and check it out on the YouTube side. But yeah, what's the thoughts on Steph Curry still being able to do this thing on a high level, man? Because Milwaukee got a good team. You know, Milwaukee got a real good team, and even without Giannis, they got a good team. And like they got the type of team that can hold down the fort until he's like just in case he got to miss a few games. Um, they have the type of team that can hold down the fort until he's back. Maybe 5, 6, 7 games. They got the type of team that can really hold down the fort for for that amount of time. Then of course James Harden goes down with the hamstring, right? So he's gonna be out at least 10 days, they said. So they're gonna miss him for at least 2 weeks. But you got Kevin Durant coming. So Kevin Durant is slated to come back against New Orleans. So it's like, are they ever gonna be on the same page? all with their big three. Is their big three ever gonna be there together? I don't know. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? Do y'all think their big three is ever gonna be there together? Because right now it ain't looking like it. Because I believe they might have what about 25 games left, maybe. They might have about 25 games left. Because I know they're doing the shortened season, 71. So yeah, they're up around 50. So they probably got about 22 games left, you know? So, you know, they got to get back and get some type of chemistry. And also, um, not James Harden, but Kevin Durant got to get out there and kind of work himself back into condition, you know? And it shouldn't be a hard transition with a team like that, with a with a good team like that with quality depth. So they got quality depth. So they should be pretty good, until Kevin Durant figures it out. Because Harden's only gonna supposedly only gonna miss 2 weeks, but so he'll still be fairly in fairly good condition when he comes back. But Kevin Durant is been out for a few months now. He's been out for a few months. So what's gonna happen with him is he's gonna have to work himself in shape, get his lateral movement going, his stop and pop game. He's gonna have to get a lot of stuff. He's gonna have to figure out a lot of stuff. And then when you had an injury like that, it's a lot of times it's in your head more than anything. So because remember Golden State, he was out, came back, did his little dance, boom, and then got hurt. So and that was pretty much the end of his Golden State time. Um, that was the end of the end of his Golden State time. But you like to see him come back healthy and see what he can do over here. Even though this is pretty much the same. This is actually more to me of a devastating team than Golden State was because you got to think they had what Clay, Steph, who else? Iguodala got the MVP, Sean Livingston. So they had a good team, but they didn't have. But this team got like like legit Hall of Famers. We talking Blake Griffin, Durant, Kyrie, Harden. Then you got LaMarcus Aldridge. Like this team, not a Hall of Famer, but I'm just saying, like you got this team is this team's pretty stacked. You know, this team is pretty stacked. So I mean, this team stacked up pretty good. And you got to think too, DeAndre Jordan. So yeah, man. Do you got DeAndre Jordan also? So this team stacked up pretty good. Then uh what's his name? Spencer Dinwiddie when he comes back. You know, you got Spencer Dinwiddie. So this team stacked up pretty good, man. The team stacked up pretty good. So and I believe, I mean, you can't really compare because Kevin Durant's on both teams, but I believe this team, Like you know how you would say like, "Oh, this team would have beat this team." I mean, you can't really do that, but I believe Kevin Durant, this team that Kevin Durant's on now, is better than the Golden State team, top to bottom, because you just don't have the Golden State team had a bunch of role players that knew the role, knew their role, but they didn't have nothing like um they didn't have nothing like Harden, Durant, and Kyrie. There's nothing like that. There hasn't been nothing like that in a long time. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't really been nothing like that in a long time. So, well, probably ever. You know that wasn't built. The only thing is with the Golden State team, that team was built through the draft. You know what I'm saying? Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson built that team through the draft. You know, taught them how to play defense. I guarantee you that they wish. I guarantee you they wish he would have still been there right now. I bet you they wish he was still there because I guess he was a little harsh in practice and stuff like that. So he was a little harsh in practice. So you know they was just like now though. You know they was young and probably with the exception of Draymond and Iguodala, maybe Livingston, with the exception of those dudes, they can't take how somebody's talking to them and all that good stuff. So, you know, that's what it is there. You know, um, it's just like when Jimmy Butler went to Philly, then he went to Minnesota. You know, crybaby kids. This generation, this generation is not like they're not built for it. Like Bobby Knight, Bobby Knight would be in jail right now if he coached in 2020. He'd be in jail right now. Right now. You know, dudes like uh dudes like Charles Oakley and Rick Mahorn and all that wouldn't be able to play right now. Even somebody like um Alonzo Mourning, and he was at the end of the like that type of era. He was like him, Ben Wallace, Meta World Peace, and them dudes. They was at the end, and they wouldn't be able to play right now because the league is just too soft. The league is just too soft. You know, um, the league is way too soft for those type of dudes. You know, um, or maybe Shaquille O'Neal, the last Kobe and those dudes, because Kobe's a tough character. Kobe's a tough dude. Kobe, yeah, but Steven Jackson and them was done a little before him, but like Steven Jackson and like Kobe, that era, um, Baron Davis and those dudes, like that was a tough era. You know, that was a tough era, and like right now, that's not the NBA right now. That's why the few guys that you got in the league that's like kind of throwbacks and tough, you know, uh, that's why they stick out like that, like a sore thumb. They stick out because the league is totally different from that. Even Draymond's not even a tough guy, and he sticks out. He just talk a lot, you know. Draymond just talk a lot, and he sticks out like a sore thumb. he probably could have played back in that era. Um, Maybe LeBron, the Morris twins, and I used to think Montrezl Harrell, but he's a baby. He's a crybaby. I used to think he could play back in that era. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's tough for this era, and he's probably real with it. He's probably real with it, but this era is nothing to really like write home about. Um, this era is like nothing to write home about. So it is what it is with that in that sense. But for Steph to be still doing it at at this stage of the game, you know, nothing to prove, no help. No, they brought Wiggins over, but to me, Wiggins always been like a bust. Even in college, he's been a bust to me. So I don't really feel like you could count on Andrew Wiggins in the playoffs. You're not gonna be able to count on him in the playoffs. When it comes time, to buckle down, I don't think you can count on him in the playoffs because I just seen too much. What's the word? Maybe inconsistency. I seen too much inconsistency from Andrew Wiggins. Um, Not enough dog in him. He's missing some stuff. He's missing some stuff when it comes down to him being a number one player in high school. Him being a talent, and then him being a player. Get on the court and play is a lot of inconsistency, and to me he's a bust because and he keep getting these huge contracts. Like he keeps on getting these huge contracts, which I don't get. I don't get it. Um, why his contracts are always like so huge, you know? Um, and just like the production's just not there, you know? The production is not there. Overall, because you'll see you'll see 2, 3, 4 games from him, and then you'll see 2 months where he's averaging like 8, the and for a huge amount of money, you know. So there's a lot of dudes that can average 8 for you know 22 million a year. I guess that's the going rate for a number one pick and all that good stuff. Um, But that's kind of what Kansas is known for, though. That's why I'm surprised Bill Self got a lifetime contract. He's known for underachieving. I mean, you can win the Big 12 because you win the recruiting war every year. You know, you win the recruiting war, so you can win that division 10, 12 years in a row all you want. But do you win those Final Fours, those national championship games? Nope, nope. Because the kids ain't tough enough ever. He get out coached a lot, and I don't even know really like his play calling is not really like, he don't run a lot of stuff like how when Brad Stevens was at Butler, he was calling the hell out of some games. He was calling the hell out of some games. I believe Gordon Hayward and them made it to the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken, right? When Gordon Hayward was on that team, they made it to the Final Four and end up losing, I think, on like a last second shot that didn't go down. So, with that being said, you give Self a lifetime contract, but he's not really like show and prove, just like Andrew Wiggins. The only champion out of Kansas is a former ESPN employee, Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only champion. That really, because he had a chip on his shoulder, but that's the only champion that really panned out for from Kansas. Danny Manning was good. He ended up getting hurt though. Um, I know I'm probably missing some more, and then now you got Joel Embiid, who's taken off. But his career started rocky. His rookie year started his third actual year in the NBA. So, I mean, that don't really make sense to me. But yeah, you hurt, you hurt. But yeah, man. I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. Evan Fournier, he's out for the Celtics. Um, with I guess it's the health and safety protocol. So he's out, and he's probably going to be out for at least 10 days, or unless he got to have a series of negative tests, I believe, maybe two, but they got to be spaced out, I think. So yeah, it has to be spaced out. So he just can't come back. He got to go through the whole protocol, which makes sense. It just it makes sense because it's a serious thing. But yeah, he got to go out in the he's in the safety protocol right now. So Stephen A. Smith, he apologized. Well, he not apologized, but he admitted he was wrong for picking Gonzaga. I don't know how. I don't know how. After watching that Houston game, how did he think that they were gonna that Gonzaga was gonna be able to beat Baylor, that anybody was gonna be able to beat Baylor, you know? And then the Celtics will have to do a play in. So they got the play in system kind of like college. They will have to do a play in. I don't think they will be able to beat Indiana in a play in, or the Knicks. The Knicks is really getting the they had a big turn. They happened a big turnaround. They're getting the most out of their guys. You know, Julius Randle finally actually got his own team, and he get a chance to show what he can do. And he deserved a lot of credit because he worked on his game a lot. He worked on his game a lot, and it's paying off. It's paying off for him. It's really paying off. And then he then you don't so with him playing the way he's playing, you don't really have to rely on RJ Barrett and them so much, those young guys. And then well, I don't know what's going on with Kevin Knox, but he should be back soon enough. And then you got Toppin, he's playing real good. So it's they look good in New York. The Knicks got a pretty bright future. I'm not sure how old what's the name is. I'm not sure how old who was I just talking about? I don't know how I forgot that quick. Oh, I'm looking at the ages of the Knicks. Yeah, that's what I lost it quick, y'all. Told you it's too early for me. This is way too early. Oh, Julius Randle's who we were talking about. Oh, he's only 26. Wow, he's only 26. Jeez, he was born in 94. Good gracious. He got about 6 more years, man. Really? 6 or 7 more really good years. He's averaging 22, 10, and 6. Imagine that. Look at that. He got a good man. He got a the Knicks really could be good for a while. And now he's getting 18 million a year, which is probably going to go up next contract. That's probably going to go up to probably about 25. That's probably going to go up to about 25 million a year. So, wow. I don't know why I thought he was about um 29 or 30. Wow. That's good for the Knicks though. That's really good for the Knicks because now, so by the time he is 29 or 30, then you're gonna have RJ Barrett and Quickly and all those dudes topping all those really young dudes that's like early 21. All those they're gonna be ready, you know? They're gonna be ready to play. They're gonna be ready. Knicks, Knicks will be all right. Karis LeVert, man, it's good to see him playing good. It's good to see him playing good. He had 20 last night, even though the Bulls ran away with it. Karis LeVert, he's 26 also. Yeah, it's looking like to me, I feel like the playoffs is gonna end up slipping away from the Celtics. I feel like the playoffs are gonna end up slipping away. You know, I just don't see, I just don't see where they are gonna, I just don't see where they're gonna be all right. You know, I don't see it. I feel like there's a black cloud over the team, man. I feel like there's a black cloud over them. They got the most COVID. They had the most COVID devastation this year. Most game time missed due to the virus. And I just don't see because now you're gonna miss Evan Fournier for the next at least 10 games. You know, um, mm, yeah, he's yeah, 10 games, and he just got there too. We'll jump over to the Deshaun Watson mess. You know, so Nike, they suspended his deal. You know, his endorsement deal with all the sexual assault allegations. You know, or what, sexual assault, inappropriate behavior. You know what I'm saying? And it's like 23 massage therapists. So 23 women saying, 22 women saying, you know, there was inappropriate behavior, right? And I believe there was 18 saying, you know, everything was on the up and up. And now the NFL launched the investigation. So, you know, what's gonna happen now is he's probably gonna be put on the commissioner's exempt list, right? He's gonna be put on the commissioner's exempt list. Um, any other endorsement deals he got suspended or just straight canceled. Um, people that wanted to do business with him in the future, that's over. Um, because it's kind of it's a touchy situation, you know, so to speak. You know, because you know the question is, why are all these massage therapists being, number one, solicited over Instagram? Number two, why is it so many? Why is it so many? I mean, professional athlete, bunch of money, ton of money. Why don't you have a massage therapist on your payroll, or two or three on your payroll? How come every time? How come there's so many massage therapists that I mean, you can't say this at this time I'm still trying to find one. No, no, Deshaun, no. I mean, you at some point you got to be realistic. And I mean, people saying, because I thought the same thing crossed my mind when, you know, when it first came out. Oh wow, he want to get traded. He's the man of the trade. Talking about he's sitting out, um, and now all of this is happening. So I'm like, it's a crazy coincidence, and it's a shame that we think that way. But it's a crazy coincidence in my mind. I'm like, wow, I don't believe that, you know, this type of slander or whatever. But now I'm thinking something else. And it don't got nothing to do with the Houston Texans. It got something to do with Deshaun Watson. Like 40, so 40 people been into question. 18 on your side, 22 on the other side. The simple fact that they even been questioned, or this been brought up from 40 different people, that's a problem. That's a problem. And if I'm Houston, never mind a trade, I'm avoiding the contract and I'm just gonna let you go. Because I mean this is so messy, man. This is crazy messy. Dude. This is a mess. This is a mess. And because what he got to worry about now is getting his getting his good name back, his credibility. Because right now, all that shot right now, Deshaun. Seriously, man. All of that, man, this is bad. This is bad. It's bad. I mean, because they're gonna have to be proved, they're gonna have to be proven to be just straight lying for anybody to look at him the same again. You know? And then and then we talking the worst come to worst. Dude, we talking about jail time. So at that point, you already know you're not playing again. Never mind playing again. You know? So this could turn out real bad or just bad. Either way, it's bad. It's a bad look for him. But this could turn out real bad. You know what I'm saying? This thing could be like whew, terrible. You hope. Yeah, you hope, you hope it turns out for the best, the best possible outcome. But like realistically, what is the best possible outcome? What even is that in a case like this? Because whatever team you go to, whether it be Houston or anywhere else, you got to do so much damage control, right? Because the onslaught is coming. The onslaught's coming now. Whether and there's not even um any court sessions even happen, but the onslaught's coming now. It's about to come now because it's getting closer to the season every day. The draft, all that. Now people gonna be questioning, oh, y'all drafting a quarterback? Because you already know worst come to worst, he's missing at least half of the season for whatever team he goes to. He's missing at least half of the season. I mean, he might end up being forced to take like a like a minimum deal. And that's even granted he's gonna even be able to play again. Because if Houston's pretty much they're not gonna pay him just for nothing. So his contract's probably gonna be voided at some point. You already because it's gonna look bad on you. Like Nike and people like that, they can easily just pull out, wait till everything plays out, because they don't want to look bad. Gatorade and whoever else, they don't want to be out here making commercials with this dude and radio deals and having him help them sell cars, which probably would be the opposite now. Everything's probably going to be the opposite right now of good, just because of what the allegation is. If it would have been like a road rage incident or something like that, even like prostitution, like buying prostitutes and all that stuff, or like the Paul Pierce thing, at the strip club drinking. Had he even been like he substance abuse, steroids, drugs, something like that. Yeah, something like that, would have been cool. Not cool, but something like that would have been different. We could get you help. Stop doing this. Like Ben, stop riding your motorcycle with with your helmet off, things of that nature. Even though he had some crazy stuff like that too, but this just was two women, and it's just like misunderstanding type of deal is what was it was played out to be. 22 women saying this, even though there was 18 other ones saying opposite. Why is it so many? Is the question. Why so many? So now Nike's probably the hugest sponsorship that he got. So if they pull out, all the other small ones are pulling out because they don't want to get looked at crazy. Like, oh, y'all still backing this dude? How's that happening? What are y'all doing? What is that? So I could say things about to get worse than just the allegations for Deshaun Watson. Things about to get really bad for him. You know, things are about to get really bad for him. And you hate to see it happen, but you asking for massage therapist on Instagram. There's only one thing that could happen. There's only one way that could go, man. There's only one way that could go, man. Meeting up at hotels, texting them, and he's texting them after, like, I don't see it. I don't see it going in his favor. But you know, even like I said, if it was just two or three, then that's one thing. But 22, you, that's a automatic loss. That's an automatic L he's taking. You know, automatic L, automatic. There's nothing. There's no coming back. Automatic L. So hopefully, they can take the numbers down and then make some sense out of it, and then figure out the least punishment. Unless, because if he did it, then all bets is off. And if he did it, I'm not, just get what you get, man. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's not the case, man. And I know. Hold up, hold up. I know I'm not the only one hyped about Isaiah Thomas being back in the NBA. All right, I know I'm not the only one hyped. And he still got it. Still got it. He said he had it. He said he had it. You know, he said he was good. Man, he looked good. He was on Twitter last night. He said he haven't even been icing his hip. So, you know, ice it though. Ice it. Don't. We believe you. Don't try to show us. We see you out there balling. So, you know, hopefully, he can finish out strong. You know, because he had a rough time when he was with the Celtics. You know, his sister ended up passing away in a car accident, and you know, things like that. Just you know, that mixed with um the injury when he was supposed to get the huge contract that he finally deserved, that he rightfully deserved. Finally, he's supposed to get that contract, and then injuries, and you know, the rest is history. But boom, he flipped the switch. Now he's back. You know, so hopefully he can keep it going, and he can help those guys. You know, hopefully he can help those guys because that. See, that's a young team that would need help closing. You know, they're gonna need help closing if they can make it. They're currently in 11th. They're lower than Golden State right now. I don't know how they're lower than Golden State right now, but I just want to shout out Isaiah Thomas, man, for getting himself back, getting himself healthy, getting back right. Um, just keeping a positive attitude after everything. You know, from his sister to you know a lot of money that he feel like probably feel like he missed out on. You know, from being hurt with the things he could do. You know, the things he brought to the table all over. So all around. You know, playing. So you know, it's good to see him back. You know, I'm happy to see him back. Hitting some big shots, big threes, runners, um, doing what he does, doing what he always had, you know? So we all happy about that, you know. So we're gonna give it up one time for Isaiah Thomas. And I'm out of here, y'all. Got an appointment, tax appointment. I'm about to go see the tax man, see what I owe, see if I'm gonna be on the run. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man. All right, out of here.